We are going to be looking at solving something called an exponential function by finding something called a common base. So let's take a look at the first problem. What do you know about it? What do you notice? So if you look, it says solve for x, and we have 3 squared equals 3 to the x. So if I asked you, what do you think x equals? Well, what would you say? And you should notice the base, the big numbers are equal. So if the bases are equal, it must mean that the exponents are equal. So if you have 3 squared equals 3 to what power? Well, x must be 2. And that way, if you plugged it in, we would get 3 squared equals 3 squared. And that means that, again, we're looking for the equal sign. What makes them the same? Well, x has to be 2 so that they're the same. So if you have two exponents right here with the same base, then they have to be equal. So let's take a look at a and b. So for a, the base is 4. The base or the big number is 4. So if the bases are equal, it must mean the exponents are also equal. So here x is 3. If you take a look at here, the base is fish. And since the bases are the same, well, what can x equal? Well, x must be 5. So if the bases match, then the exponents have to be equal. Otherwise, the two sides of the equation will not be the same. So let's take a look at that and look at what happens for C and D. So again, C and D, the bases match. So what that means is that this 9 must equal the x minus the 1. And then we're going to solve. We'll add 1 to each side. So if x is 10, and we plug in 10 minus 1, we'll get 9. And then you get 5 to the 9th equals 5 to the 9th. So here, x is 10. Let's look at D. Mom is the base here. And so the exponents have to be equal. What makes 2x plus 4 equal 8? You set them equal. And then here we'll subtract 4 from each side first. We'll get 2x equals 4. We'll divide by 2, and we'll get x equals 2. So if you plug in a 2 here, 2 times 2, we can check our answer as 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. So here x is 2. For E and F, they don't look like exponents, but they are. I try to make it look like one, but it doesn't really. So 2x minus 3 over 5, that is the exponent. And 3 is the exponent. They have the same base. So we want to know what makes 2x minus 3 divided by 5 equal 3. All right, now here we want to get rid of this divided by 5 first. To get rid of a divided by 5, we're going to multiply each side by 5. Any number divided by itself is 1. We get 2x minus 3 equals 15. And now we can solve. So we're going to add 3 to each side. We get 2x equals 18. We'll divide each side by 2. And we'll get x equals 9. And the last one, again, the bases are the same. So we want to know what makes x over 2 plus 7. What makes that equal 27? Here we had to get rid of the divided by 5 first, but here we want to get rid of this plus 7 first. So we're going to subtract 7 to each side, from each side. We get x divided by 2 equals 20. To get rid of a divided by 2, we're going to multiply each side by 2. So when we do that, x will be 40. You could check your answer by plugging in 40 divided by 2 is 20. 20 plus 7 is 27. All right, let's take a look at numbers of base 2. So we know that anything to the 0 power is 1. 2 to the first power is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, remember this means this, is 8. And 2 to the fourth is 8 times 2, or 16. This is 3 to the first power. 3 squared means 3 times 3, or 9. 3 to the third means 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. And 3 to the fourth means 4 threes, or it just means 27 times 3, so this will be 81. All right, so let's move on. You can just stick those here. Thank you. All right, last thing we're going to review is the distributive property, because we'll need that for tomorrow. So if you have parentheses here, you can distribute. We have 2 times x minus 2 times 5 is 10 equals 10. We'll add 10 to each side. We get 2x equals 20. Divide each side by 2, so x is 10. And then the last one, we're going to multiply, distribute and multiply. We have 3x plus 6. And then you don't distribute to the 5, but we do have that 5 there. Equals 38. We'll combine like terms. 6 plus 5 is 11, so you have 3x plus 11 equals 38. We'll subtract 11 to each side, from each side. We get 3x equals 27. We'll divide by 3, and we'll get x equals 9. So your assignment today will be a mixture of this review, looking at different bases here, and then solving. So again, when you have two bases that are the same, you set them equal and solve. All right. Okay, do you have any questions about anything? Okay. So what we're going over in class is like properties of exponents. Are you okay with those? What we're not going to do today and tomorrow and then take a quiz. Is tomorrow Thursday? No. Okay, so we're going to review for 2 days and then take the quiz. And then you can